So while on our low budget motorcycle camping adventure and camped in Montrose, just outside of Montrose in the Uncompahgre Hills above Montrose, we had no less than two very unique visitors to our camp. One of them, you may have seen the interview with Garrett Peterson, at least the third interview that I've done with him. And Garrett came up to visit our camp, and then we had a second visitor, and this was his second trip visiting. This is my friend Keith on a very unique motorcycle, and both Garrett and Keith were doing cross-country trips on very small bore motorcycles. And this one's not only a small bore, it's actually a 300 in his monkey, but he is carrying all his camping gear, and he's fairly well supplied, unlike Garrett, who's just kind of hardcore, sleep on the ground kind of a guy. And I think he's carrying more tools actually than camping gear. But Keith is a little bit more sophisticated, but he likes that small monkey riding across country because it fits the goals that he has for himself and his riding goals. And I want to share with you Keith's story, at least the one he told me at camp while he spent a couple days with us, camped above Montrose. Here's Keith.
So I'm Keith, and I'll introduce you to the monkey that allows me to have a little bit more adventure in my life. It's a 2019 monkey that's been highly modified, bigger engine, and this allows me to go cross-country or short trips. I have about 10,000 miles on it. It's gone from Yellowstone back to Chicago. It's gone from Florida back to Chicago. And I just have a ball on it because it reminds me of being a 15-year-old kid. And I can go long distances, but I've modified it to have different qualities to carry a person, carry stuff. And so far it's worked like a charm, and it has not let me down.
Why did you choose the monkey, Keith?
Because it looks like my mini bike when I was a kid.
There's other reasons too. You chose it because it's collapsible, you can transport it easily.
So the other quality is you can adjust, loosen some bolts, the handlebars will fold down, and I can roll it right up into the back of my 2004 RAV4 when I take the rear seats out, and the front seat acts almost like a wheel chuck, and I just ratchet strap it down, and I close the back hatch along with my camping gear, so if it's winter, this thing does not have to get all mucked up with road grime when I'm going to Florida or different places. I can get out of Chicago, take it with me, ride around Florida, put it back in the car, come back north again.
But you have a big bike too. You have a CB1100.
Honda CB1100.
But it doesn't fit every trip, so...
And it's big and it's heavy, and
it's more comfortable for the long haul, but you can do adventures more on something like this.
Yes. This has a certain quality of a road adventure and camping. The CB1100 can do it too, but it's just a different, it feels different when you're taking a big bike. Plus it's much, much harder to transport a 500-pound, larger geometric size motorcycle. It's just hard to move those things around, and as I get older, it's harder and harder. This thing, I can still get around it and maneuver it pretty well.
But you're not some just weirdo that likes really tiny bikes that are way too small for. So you've had lots of bikes.
Yeah,
you've gone through the whole gamut of bikes. You don't care about size as much as making your adventure happen. So
there's things in my brain that I want to do, which is come out to the mountains and kind of be in the middle of nowhere, bring the wife, maybe not bring the wife, and kind of do different things and be able to run on down the fire roads or go up some path and just have some fun before I die, for crying out loud. And death is not far away for any of us that are in our 50s.
Boom. That's pretty good stuff, man. Let me just get some of this B-roll here, because it's the perfect fucking song.
Unless you're Gary and he's the bionic man, and he will live forever.
Gary, there's nothing stopping Gary.
Right? So how many people do you know when you got to 50, some of the people you know in school, they're dropping dead?
Dropping dead.
They're dropping dead, right?
Dropping dead. And older, younger, everything.
Absolutely.
So how much time do we have left?
Right. Right.
Let's go do it now.
So if I did it the traditional suburban Chicago housewife thing that says, no, don't do all that. I'm like, hell, you live your life. I'm going to go do the things that bring happiness to my life. So you got to kind of balance things when you're in a relationship of what does she want? What do I want? And this is something that is high on my list of something that I wanted to do. I can sacrifice other stuff, but this was something I was not willing to negotiate on. I wanted to do this.
Which is why we're hanging out.
Which is why we're hanging out, because you do the kind of off-road, out in the middle of nowhere stuff, and I'm like, I want to be able to try to do that. I'm not nearly as skilled as you are. I don't have, you know, it's what comes naturally to you does not come really naturally to me. I'm used to kind of a pop-up trailer with 5 brothers and sisters taking us out to the national parks, and so this not as, you know, this is more roughing it than I'm used to, but you're kind of helping me expand my boundaries. So, but I got to give credit, Wayne at the speed shop in Atlanta, freaking awesome work. I still stay in touch with him, and I refer a lot of other people to him. If you want to modify a small bike, he's your guy. So, and then the welder in Vancouver, I just can't say enough about that trailer, because
I think I've seen some of his work come out. I've
Yeah.
seen some other guys. I'm not a big trailer guy, but I'm becoming, the more Big Bertha gets on the back of my seat, I'm like, well, you know, I don't think that's as crazy as riding around with fucking 400 pounds in the back seat of your bike.
yeah, I had to
You
have,
can unhook it, and then you can go have fun if you wanted to.
I had to have the trailer because I can't carry my gear without it.
Yeah.
So it was just it's a necessity. So
Yeah. And you don't have a lot of gear, but yeah, I mean, you got less gear than we got.
I think
We're
so.
riding around on 2 wheels, so.
But I'm also not doing as much rugged stuff as you are, right?
Not yet.
So,
Not yet.
and as I add stuff, I got to think about the, you know, the volume capacity of what I can do. So,
Right.
but
That's great.
so far so good.
That's great. So what are we doing?
We're connecting the trailer to the bike, so I don't have to.
So you can roll out in the morning without waking us up?
Well, nobody likes doing hard work
I don't like doing hard work.
in the morning.
I don't like doing hard work, period.
That's why he's filming.
Okay,
If you could stake these out, that wouldn't be that bad, because you'd have
I do.
almost.
You can stake them out.
But you'd have to have some kind of
Yeah, there's two.
rods.
There's red poles that stick
Oh,
from
okay.
here to end, then you
Yeah,
tether
good.
it down.
Yeah, that would not be that bad. I didn't know you could do that. Now, where did you get your trailer from?
A welder in Vancouver. It's called the Surepax trailer. It's made for off-road.
It's pretty well built.
Yeah.
It's aluminum. Is it aluminum?
Oh shit, it's light as shit.
Yeah.
It's light. I thought it was going to be heavy.
Yeah, it looks like a bicycle frame almost.
So here, I'll do it. Get pretty mucked up.
He's got a wheelbarrow.
Yeah. Bless you. All right, so tool.
Don't call Gary names. He's here helping you. Big t-shirt.
So, Gary, what I'd like you to do
Uh-huh.
is we're going to lift it up, keeping the spacer on. You might want to move it back a little bit, but keep the spacer on the threaded bolt.
Okay.
And keep the end of the threaded bolt. Don't start turning it yet, because I'm going to get mine first. That end of the threaded bolt goes right down here below the axle.
Okay.
Benz would sit there.
Yeah.
Pull that down, put a pack behind.
What made you think you could do this to a monkey? Any
Oh.
of this? Any of the modifications? Where did you get the ideas from this? You just said, ah, fuck it, I'm going to call some guy in Canada and see if he can weld me some shit? Because it doesn't make sense to me.
The trailer part or the what I modifications to the monkey?
Everything you've done to the monkey.
In the monkey was, well, I'm too fat and heavy for the stock motor.
And you went somewhere and
I want to go
found
faster.
somebody.
Right, I want to go faster, and then
Okay.
just kind of said monkey modifications and so forth. And I
Okay.
ran across a guy named Wayne at the speed shop
Wow, you found one guy.
in Atlanta. He
Said, let me help you figure out all this stuff.
Well, actually, there was another guy in Atlanta that had a Grom that wanted in his video, like you're doing now.
Right.
He went to go visit Wayne at the speed shop because he wanted some modifications done to his engine, and Wayne said, "Look at all the things that I've done with small bikes." And I'm like, "Oh, I gotta meet this guy.
Right.
This is my guy." So then, because the motor was done first, so I got a hold of Wayne, and Steady Garage builds brackets. I blew up 2 big bore kits first, so I spent a lot of money on big bore kits, and I'm like, it's just not reliable. So I said, I just need a bigger, reliable engine. So I went and bought another bike, a CB 300F, that doesn't have an engine problem. So some bike after that year, and bought that bike from used. And then I took the monkey that I had with the broken engine and the new CB 300F, and I carried it down to Wayne. And he said, yeah, I'm happy to do it. So, because he does a lot of stuff.
I will solve all your problems.
And he did all the work because I don't have the patience for all that. And the technicality. So he put all the engine in, which meant so it's liquid cooled. But it's also running off a different voltage. So we had to mess with different headlights, different tack, and the chain was a different lane. So chain and sprockets. And the monkey does not come with rear foot pegs, so we stole some from a Grom and put those on there so Benz could ride with me. And then the foot pegs are too small, so we did some welding of the foot pegs so I can be comfortable.
Right.
And then I needed a rear rack, which you saw earlier. And the racks that are on the market are 25-pound weight, and it's some threaded bolt that it can't hold anything. Well, this thing can hold probably 350 pounds dynamic weight up and down, because it's right to the tubular frame underneath the seat.
Right.
So that'll, so it's safe enough. So I did that, and then I'm like, well, I still don't.
Wait, let's go back over that. Your wife sits right here.
Yeah.
So
Her
that's
feet go
pretty
here.
important that your wife doesn't fall off the back.
Yeah.
So
we
you
built
build this thing so your wife doesn't die.
Yeah. Well, and she's used to small bikes from where she grew up.
Right.
So she was like, yeah, what the heck, my husband's interested in it, motivated, I'll do it. So then I couldn't carry much, even with this here. I'm like, well, I can't go camping. I can almost not, rain gear and a couple changes of clothes is all that'll fit here. I'm like, I need more storage space when I go on trips. So then my buddy and I started, oh, we need trailer. We need a trailer. So we just started doing that online, and we came across this SurePax trailer, off-road trailer. He's a welder, John, I can't remember his name.
Canadian guy.
And
who knows how to build bicycle frames, basically.
Yeah.
Which is what that looks like.
So
it's
he
aluminum
builds
bicycle frame and
tubular aluminum, and he's a welder, so he kind of knows what he's doing. And there's different types of rear axles. The bigger bikes have a hollow rear axle. So when you get into like a WR or the bike's your size, it's a rod that goes right through the center of the rear axle.
right.
But since it's a smaller, different axle, he gets these little metal tabs, and you just thread into it that way. So that's how it hooks to the bike. It's very stable because it's right at the axle. And then, you got to tighten things up properly or it gets loose. The idea is I want a cool bike that I can ride around town.
Hipster. I want to
Yeah,
be a hipster around town.
Yeah, and I don't want to diminish those people's desire to do that, but that wasn't the objective. For me, that's the objective.
Yeah.
My deal was, it's like you talk about a cool bike to ride around town. A monkey, how much cooler can you get?
Obviously not much cooler. With the ladies' attention that this man has got, and you know, we got Gary over here on a brand new, very expensive adventure bike, and nobody's paid Gary a lick of attention.
Oh, they look at me.
Keith has got all the ladies coming and going, hey,
No,
what's up?
no, no. I look like a cave troll, and they still look at me because of the
Well,
bike.
no, they come to you because of the bike.
Yeah, yeah.
And then, you know, then they got to make a decision, but still, they come to you. You got your opportunity.
Yeah, and if I had
So
the
you got to close the deal.
if I had the Casanova verbal skills of Moto Giant, maybe I could be more successful.
Well, the bottom line is we all got to get a monkey, apparently. Put a trailer on the back.
Different bikes,
Yeah.
things that are not
Can you imagine
common.
about 6 people coming down the highway and with monkeys,
Yeah.
all kitted out like Keith's got his?
So Keith rolled out the next morning on his journey from San Diego through Colorado and back to his home in the suburb of Chicago. It was great hanging out with him, and it's great actually seeing him ride cross country with his full kit and seeing him unpack everything and pack it back in. And just another example for many people who think that they don't have the right bike, they can't make the big journey. And here's yet another one, another adventurer riding on a small bore bike. And yeah, it's just another example that you can do it too on your bike. You know, if you enjoyed this story, you might enjoy a few more stories and interviews that I've had over the past. Just click on the playlist here and you will find some more interesting people that I've run into over the years. Check it out.